guys and girls, how's it going? And welcome back to another episode of Botania with myself, Lewis. Been really having yourself a great day as always. In the last episode, we made ourselves the portal to Alfheim. Yes, it's very cool. We managed to get ourselves some Elementium, and we got a few other little bits and bobs that we could trade our overworld items for. We got some Dragonstone, and we got ourselves some Pixie Dust, and these are going to come in very useful pretty soon, as we're going to have to fight the Gaia Guardian if we want to progress through the mod any further. Now, there is a couple of things that I would like to show you before we do that are going to make the battle a little bit easier, because when I fought the Gaia Guardian some time ago, it's got a lot harder since then. It's had a few buffs to make it a little bit more tricky to handle, which is, you know, the cost of Terra Steel went down, the Gaia Guardian got harder. That's kind of the mismatch there. So, what we're going to do to try and make our fight a little bit easier is we're going to make some potions. But we're not going to make regular potions. No, no, no. We're going to make the Botania equivalent in the Botanical Brewery, which is very cool. So obviously we're going to need some mana, we're going to need some ingredients, bits and bobs like that, but these should allow us to make some pretty unique potions, and we might even make ourselves a new accessory today that can be used with those potions. So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to make ourselves a botanical brewery, which is this guy here. Now, to do this, we are going to need a regular brewing stand, so let's get all of the regular bits that we need. So we need 3 of you, and we're going to also need a blaze rod, so that we can make our brewery. There we go, good stuff. And now we're going to need some living rock, a block of mana steel, and a rune of mana. So let me see if I got some runes of mana kind of chilling inside here. Yep, there we go. And we're also going to need a block of mana steel. Have I got any mana steel? Doesn't look like I have. We're going to need to get ourselves 9 bits of mana, unless I have some chilling, which I don't think I do. So let's grab 9 ingots from you, and I think we'll use the mana up over this way. I need to spend a little bit of time sorting my mana out, because I've been using a lot of mana, haven't been making a lot of mana, so that's definitely something that I need to get done pretty soon. But there we go. We got 9 mana steel ingots, which is great. Let's go and turn these into one of those. Actually, we can use this, can't we? Look. There we go. So we'll grab you. Very nice. And now we can make this guy. I just need 6 bits of that, I believe. Yeah, let's grab 6 bits of you. Cool, cool. And we'll craft this. So that, and woof. And good stuff. Man, that assembly halo is pretty cool. I like that. It had a little bit of a change in the recent update, so that now whenever you open it up, the crafting table is right in front of you. Before, it could be like kind of over this way or somewhere like that. But yeah, having it kind of open right in front of you is pretty handy, I must admit. I like that. Alright, so we've got our botanical brewery. Let's decide where we're going to put it. I think we're just going to put it over here, you know. We kind of have a line of progression going this way, don't we? So we have the enchanting to the Terra Steel to the portal to Alfheim. And this kind of, you know, this kind of sits in the middle. You know, you could have it kind of down here, I guess, but I would say it's kind of sat around here. So let's pop you down there. Good stuff. And it looks pretty cool, doesn't it? Let's check it out, doing its little spinny thing like that. I like it. Now, we're going to need to make a couple of bits so that we can use this. Now, I don't actually know if this can work with sparks. So, I'm going to try. Well, no, because it will just sit on top. But if it can't, then no. Alright, so we can't use sparks. That's one thing. Well, that's fine. We can do this instead. So let's get ourselves a mana spreader. Now we can make up upgraded mana spreaders. Actually, should we do that? Should we make an upgraded mana spreader? I think we should do that. Let's get ourselves some Dreamwood, and we'll do this. We're not going to really be using it to full effect just yet, but it is going to be kind of handy. So we'll throw you in there, and we've got our Dreamwood. We're going to need to get ourselves a piece of gold like we had before. So let's grab some of you. And you can see the recipe is slightly more expensive, but it is very cool. So we'll grab you, we'll grab this, and believe it's this. Let's have a look. I might have done this a little bit wrong. Oh, we need to use Elementium. Aha, there we go. Alright, let's get ourselves a piece of Elementium, and we shall craft ourselves a mana spreader, but we're going to make ourselves the elven mana spreader. Yeah, which is pretty cool. So let's throw you guys in. Hold on. Hold up. Hold up. Where's my... Oh, no, I got it all there. It just wasn't showing for some reason. All right, let's grab you and you. And we'll do that and that and that and that and poof. So the difference between this mana spreader and the other mana spreader, and I can quickly show you this, is if I grab a regular spreader, like such, and we place these down like this, and I bring this up, you'll be able to see that the Elven mana spreader can send mana further before it starts to lose mana from the burst. So, you know, it means you can make your kind of area systems, or whatever you want to call them, you can make them further away, and that way you're not going to lose as much mana, or you don't need to add buffers to allow your mana to go a greater distance, which is kind of great. You know, it costs a little bit more. We need the wood to be able to do that, the dream wood, and we also need the elementium, but, you know, it's a good upgrade. I would say it's kind of worth it. It's probably not worth using it how I'm about to use it, because we're going to use it right next to the right next to it, but hey, that's fine. It does look cool, doesn't it? You know, it fits the mood. So we'll have that there, and that's going to go into there. We'll just share the mana from this pool here, because we might as well. We've got a little bit in there, and I think we're practically ready to go. Now, with the potions that we're going to make, there's two different tiers of potion. Now, I'm going to call them tiers. They're not really, but you know, they kind of are. So the first ones that we can make are done like this. So we would need to get ourselves some mana glass. So let's go get ourselves 3 bits of regular glass. We're going to infuse this, and this is going to give us mana glass vials. So let's get ourselves 3 bits of you. Actually, you know what? We're going to get 6. And let's go and do this. So we'll get a few flasks when we do this, which is kind of handy. So let's do that. There we go. And now we can make this. So that gives us some mana glass vials, which is very handy indeed. And the other thing that we can do, I'm going to boot you up. So we need to be able to have our portal to Alfheim to do this, but it's going to be very cool, is we're going to take this mana glass and we're going to toss it in, and it's going to give us a new type of glass that we can use. There we go. It's going to give us, I think it's called Elf Glass. Yeah, Elf Glass, which is kind of cool. I'm going to turn this off. Like I said in the last episode, doing it like this is a bad idea. You want to try and keep your portal open all the time. But yeah, I'm kind of lazy. So now that we've got that, we've got our Elf Glass. I think this is the same recipe. Yeah, it gives us Elf Glass flasks. Cool, cool. So the thing that's cool about these potions, instead of regular potions, is they hold a certain amount of charges, like a certain amount of swigs. I don't really like that word swigs, I don't know why, but that's kind of how it is. So you can have multiple drinks from one flask, instead of having, like you would with vanilla potions, you just use it and then you're done, right? So that's a little bit different. And the Elf Glasses can hold more uses than the mana glass vials can. So let's look at the potions that we can actually use right here. I can't actually remember what it's called. Vial? Yeah, there we go. And they're going to be the same ones for the Elf Glass. So we can make all of these, and they've all got different names. So we have Fleet Feet, we have Vigor, we have Adrenaline, Mending. And you can see the potion effects down below. So we have Jump Boost, Regeneration is Revitalization, Restoration is Regeneration, Fortitude is Resistance 2, and such as we go through these. And you can click on these in your inventory, and it will show you what you need to add to them. So the first thing that we need to add is a mana glass, and then we add the appropriate items, and then it needs the appropriate amount of mana. Now, I've actually never made these before, so I don't know how much mana it needs. So we're going to go with how much is in there. There's not a great deal, barely anything in there. I'm just intrigued to see how much we're actually going to need. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to make a vial of Vigor, because you know what? Why not? And we're going to make one of the different types. So we'll make one from a mana glass vial, and we'll make one from an Elf Glass, just to see how much it uses, you know. So let's get ourselves some of this. So we're going to need some Neverwarts, Blaze, and Glow. Alright, let's grab you. And we're going to need you. Good stuff. And we're also going to need a Neverwart. Cool, cool. So let's do this. I'm excited because I've never actually done this before. I had a little read in the book just before we started. So you sits on top, and then we have you, and oh man, I love how they sit on it. Look, that's so cool. I love how they just kind of sit there on the little panes. And we needed glowstone, and there we go. All right, how much is it actually gonna use? We've got a fairly decent amount in there. I wonder if it's going to do a little kind of thing it normally does when something's ready. It's drinking. Oh my bejesus, that was cool. That was cool, wasn't it? I like that. And that didn't really use up any. Nice. Alright, so we have a Vial of Vigor, which has Strength 2 for 1 minute and 30 seconds each, with 4 uses. So I can take 1. And there we go. You can see that our little vial down there has lost a little bit inside it. And now we have a grand total of 2 swigs left inside it. It's pretty cool, isn't it? And you see I now have Strength 2, which is nice. So let's try out our bigger flasks and see how much this is going to use, because this might use a little bit more. So we want to look at flasks, and they're going to be the same, I believe. It's the same ingredients. And let's decide on the one that we're going to like. I think Regeneration is a pretty nice one, isn't it? Flask of Restoration. Needs a ghast tier redstone and a little bit of that. I do like that. Yeah, let's go with that one. Alright. So, let's go get all the pieces from this. And I believe this gives us 6, I think. So, Neverwalk, ghast, and redstone. Let's get one of you, and one of you. And let's make one of these. These are going to come in, like, super handy for our fight that we're soon going to be having. So that, and it was redstone, wasn't it? Yeah, that. And can we throw stuff at it? Oh, we can just throw it at it as well. That's kind of cool, I guess. And you. Alright. Let's see how long this one takes. Still got a fairly decent amount in there. You know, some people don't realise how much these mana pools actually hold. Like, it is a redonkulous amount of mana. And it's, you know, it kind of shows right now that we're doing all of this, and it hasn't even gone down a notch. Which is kind of cool, isn't it? Although, it's kind of scary when you think that you actually need a whole half a pool to make a piece of terra steel. That's summon right there, isn't it? So let's get this guy to do his thing. I'm just going to have a quick sip of my tea. I've got a bit of a sore throat at the minute, so I need to make sure my throat is well lubricated so that we can make videos. So I'll look inside here. We're looking all right. And it's definitely taken longer than it did before, so it's going to use up more mana. It would make sense that it uses up more mana, wouldn't it? And I believe we can't actually do... Well, we can't do this anyway until we have the portal up and running, because we won't be able to make the alpha glass anyway. But it does actually open up a new section in your Lexica Botania over here. Under... Natural apparatus? Yeah, brewing flasks. Alpha glass seems to be more amenable than the typical mana glass used for vials. A flask made of alpha glass is the typical elven container for brews and can contain 6 doses of 1 rather than 4 a vial does. Bam, there we go. Alright, so we got 4 doses, or 6 doses of regeneration. That is very cool. I like that. Let's have a look inside here. Oh, it has lost it a little bit, hasn't it? Oh, I have to be a little bit careful about that. Alright, so let's do one last thing before we call it a day. I would like to show you another use for this brewing stand, and I've never actually made one of these before, so we're going to do this together because they're kind of new, or fairly new, but we're going to make ourselves I think it's called a blood pendant. Yeah, Tainted blood pendant. And for this we're going to need some prismarine shards, so let's make these first. Obviously we're not in Minecraft 1.8, but Botania does add prismarine to the game, and we can do this by using nether quartz and making sure we have our conjuration catalyst, and we should be able to do this. There we go. Oh, I need a little bit more to do that. Do we need a little bit more in it? Yeah, we need just a tad more. Let's do this. We'll do that. Let's see how much that puts in. That should be just enough to do it. Yeah, you done it. Boom. Good stuff. Alright, so that gives us 4 prismarine shards to be able to make this. And we're going to need a ghast tier and a mana diamond. Let's have a look inside here. We are going to need ourselves a mana diamond. So let's grab a diamond. And we're also going to need a ghast tier from inside here. Good stuff. And I should have enough mana inside this one to do... No? Yes. Ooh. Okay, so now that we've got these, let's craft this guy. So a little bit of you, a little bit of this. Am I missing something? 1, 2, 3, 4. You. And, hold on 2 seconds. Did I not just have a, yeah, there it is. That always gets me. Sometimes it doesn't register in the inventory. I don't really know why. Just a little bit strange. There we go. So, Tainted Blood Pendant. Now, from what I can tell in the book, it says that it needs to be infused like it would a regular vial. So, I'm guessing we place it on here, and we would do it like we would make a regular potion. And it's going to take mana from our inventory, so bear in mind that we have the greater band of mana. It's going to take mana from that, and it's going to give us the potion effect as long as it's worn. So, and there are a couple of ones that we can't use. So if we have a look in baubles and accessories, we should find one here for Ring of Magnetation, Tainted Blood, yeah, there we go. So messing around with the original source of the potion design, the Nether seems to work fairly well at harnessing that very power. The Tainted Blood Pendant allows one to store a brew in a condensed, wearable state. Infusing this pendant with one and wearing it will apply the effect while it's worn for the cost of mana depending on the power of the brew. To infuse the pendant with a brew, the normal procedure of infusing one on a vial is what's required. The cost increase by a tenfold though. However, the pendant will not accept any and all effects, and few don't seem to behave well, such as instant health or absorption. Lastly, brews with more than one effect will fail. Okay, so we can't use instant health, we can't use absorption. So which one are we going to go with? Let's have a look at our vials. I really like strength. Like, you know, you can either go for a defensive or you can go for an offensive, can't you? And, you know, I generally go for the offensive. So maybe we'll make a strength one. We're going to need some nether warts. So let's just get all the bits that we made for our first potion. And we'll see how this works. So we're going to need some nether wart, blaze, and glowstone. So glowstone, nether wart. And we've already got that good stuff. Now, it is saying that it's going to use mana tenfold. If that is the case, then we're going to need a decent amount of mana, aren't we? So let's go and pillage a little bit of mana from up here, because I've got a fairly decent amount inside of this pool right here. Yeah, that should do it. And let's do you. And some of this. Cool, cool. Oh, is that the way around? No, there it goes. It's like, why aren't you filling up? You filled up. You done your thing? You've done your thing. Okie dokie. Yeah, I'm really going to need to spend some time between this and the next episode sorting out all of my mana, because I seem to be, I'm not spending enough time making it, which is the #1 rule in Botania, that you need to spend a little bit of time, you know, making your mana. So, let's give you a little bit of that. And I'm hoping this is going to be enough. It used a fraction of amount when we did it for the original, didn't it? So we'll just have to see how much it uses this time. That should hopefully do it. If it runs out, then we can supply it with more. I'll just go grab myself my little guys over there, and we'll do that. So let's try this out. So nether wart, we want some of you, and we want some of you. And it's doing something, which is great. This should take a little bit of time because it has to do it tenfold, so I'm not surprised if it takes a minute or two. And I'm just hoping that we have enough mana in there. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be pretty scary. It's already gone down a little bit. I have great faith that we have enough in there. Please have enough in there. We've actually got a load over here, haven't we? Oh, yeah, we got loads waiting in case we need to use. I always forget about that one over there. So I don't really know how much this is actually going to use from our mana reserve inside our ring, but you know what? If I can have constant strength, I ain't going to complain about that. Oh no, it's going to be brilliant. And then in conjunction with the other potions that we can use, we should be able to get a fairly decent amount of potion effects, all going at once, that will allow us to kick the Gaia Guardian's bum, which is very much what I'm hoping to do. Although I haven't actually fought the new Guardian, the new Gaia Guardian. I know I said earlier that it has got harder. I haven't actually fought it myself yet. I just read in the change logs that it's got harder. So this will be my first time fighting the new Gaia Guardian. And I'm pretty excited to see how much it's changed. See how much we've used. Yeah, we've still got a decent amount in there. It's taken a minute or two, but hey, it's a powerful item if we're going to have continuous strength as long as we have mana. I don't think this guy, the Greater Band of Aura, is going to be able to keep up with the mana cost of this of this guy. But look at it this way, if you make a full suite of all the different blood pendants, then you don't really have to make brews, do you? Because then you could just wear them at different intervals at the time you needed them. Obviously, if you're going to have a big boss fight, then you're going to want to wear one, because you can't wear any more than one, can you? So you'd wear one, and then you take the potions for the other. But if you're just doing your general day tasks and would like to get around a little bit faster, then you could throw on your fleet feet one, and then when you go in to do a little bit of monster hunting, you can flip out the regeneration or the strength, depending on how you're feeling. Going a little bit further. We're slowly getting there. This is going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty excited. Let's have a look. Make sure we've actually got yeah, we've got. So the one last thing we need is a pendant to go in there, a necklace. And the good thing with Botania as well is there's absolutely a buttload of necklaces that we can be wearing. I think I actually might do an episode just on necklaces and baubles, because we're getting to the point now where we're going to have the materials to be able to do that, and there's a lot of necklaces and baubles and kind of trinkets that I haven't shown you guys. We actually have the ability now to make the Rod of the Bifrost, which I think is an extremely cool item, so we might show that off in one of the next episodes. Oh! And it looks like we're done. Yes! Oh, nice! Brew of the Vigor Strength. So if I equip this now, yeah, I got strength too, look at that! How cool is that? I don't know how much this is going to be used in mind. See if we can see on here, because we can generally see on there through the old numbers in the top right, but I don't think it's going to use much. Let's give it a little second. Let's run around for a little bit. See if it's going to use up a great deal of our mana. Okay, let's have a look. It's actually not using much at all. I'm actually quite surprised about that. And very happy. Let's put it that way. I wonder how long I could keep this active for before it runs out, you know, because it all depends on how much mana that we have on our player, and at the minute we have, you know, we have a decent amount. It still hasn't gone down, so yeah, maybe that does keep up with it. Who knows? Maybe you guys have played around with blood pendants a little bit more than I have, but let me tell you this, it's a very funky item indeed. Oh, and it actually shows on my player. I forgot about that. Most of the rings and things now actually show on the player. Look at that. Got a little blood pendant around my neck. As you would. Can take this off. Check that out. Very nice. Oh, it's even glowing. Nice. Cool beans. Alright guys, well that's going to be that for this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've looked into the Botanical Brewery, kind of a newer item in the suite of mannery items from Botania. Oh yes. And we've had a look at a new item, the Tainted Blood Pendant, and how we can infuse that with the power of Brewery. It's very cool. Cool beans. Alright guys, well if you enjoyed the episode, make sure to drop a like as it helps the channel out a great deal, and if you're new to the channel, then of course you can subscribe for more awesome content. Have yourself a great day, have a good one as always, and goodbye.